I've watched you evolve from working crazy hours, single guy at home staying up all night, to you've really done a good job of actually not only building teams and creating freedom for yourself time-wise, but actually traveling and rejuvenating, as well as getting really focused and working hard. Can you maybe talk a little bit how you achieved that?
Yeah, well, essentially there are only a few things that we each get that are our talents, right? Back in I don't even remember what year this was, but probably in the 60s, Peter Drucker wrote The Effective Executive, and he was an incredible visionary. He saw way into the future, and he said, focus on your strengths, not on your weaknesses, and focus in large blocks of uninterrupted time, not in a bunch of fragmented things. And don't work on something for a little while and then get distracted and then try to come back, because it takes you 20 or 30 minutes to just get back on track, so you're wasting all this time. And so I developed a system that I call the productivity pyramid, where you can sit and just break out your time into 4 levels. The bottom level is things that you're doing that have 0 or negative value. Then the next level is things that have low dollar per hour value. The next level up is things that have high dollar per hour value. And then the top of the pyramid is things that have high lifetime value. And to mention Stephen Covey again, when you think about the things that have high lifetime value, you usually come to the realization that these are things that you're going to have to be very proactive about, that you're going to have to focus a lot of time on and a lot of energy on, and you're going to have to build in advance. Your physical health is a perfect example. If you wake up in the morning and you kind of feel like you don't have that much energy, or you kind of feel out of shape, that's not something that's going to make you go, oh, I have to go do some exercise right now. If you want to wake up and feel really good and have energy and have health, you're going to have had to have woken up for the last year in a row every day and said, I'm going to go proactively do exercise. I'm going to go proactively eat right. Those are the kinds of things that have high lifetime value. Well, likewise, in your business, there are things that you are good at, you are uniquely good at, that have high lifetime value, and some that have high dollar per hour value. And you need to discover what those things are. You need to go through a process of discovery, refining, development to find out what those things are. And then, as much as you can, steal time from things that are interrupting you and wasting your time and people trying to get you to pay attention to them just, for attention's sake. And just, when you're plugged in, live in those strength focus areas that have high lifetime value and high dollar value. And then when you disengage, don't partially disengage and say, I'm available 24/7. Call me anytime you want, because while you're rejuvenating and while you're unplugged and while you're paying attention to the things that are growing your soul, let's just say, and making you a happier, healthier, more fulfilled person, what I'm trying to say is if you can focus on those things and be completely unplugged, you're going to be much better at the other one, and vice versa. So I don't know if that sounded too convoluted, but I think you get the point.
No, I've watched you do that in your life, and it's, I'm striving to do the same.
Yeah. So there are a lot of other pieces to that, but, if I could just give you one message, it's when you're on, be totally on, and just keep tuning and refining your ability to contribute and be just engaged and focused. And when you're off, be as disengaged as you possibly can. Be involved in something that rejuvenates you, hobbies, time with friends, relaxation, where you're not tuned to that other frequency where your brain isn't paying continuous partial attention.
So you were saying there were 5 things, and you is the first thing.
Yeah, that's the first one. Okay. So the second area that we focus on in altitude is your market. And your market includes the people that you're talking to, your niche, your products and services. To be in the program, you have to have a business that's started and making at least some money. So I assume that you have a product or service that you've already created. That's a prerequisite. But what most people who are starting businesses and most businesses that are launching products and services do is they create things that sound good to them that maybe they would want to buy. You see the inventors on these TV shows, or your uncle who comes in and says, I've just invented this, this fantastic new thing. It's a radio-controlled helicopter that's also a TV antenna. And, imagine how everybody's going to want one of these things. And it's no surprise that almost every product and service that's launched in the marketplace, nobody buys it, nobody wants it. And so when it comes to your market, creating a product or service, going into a niche, and approaching a group of people and trying to get them to buy whatever it is, invest their hard-earned money into whatever it is you're selling, you might want to adopt this one rule that's kind of the golden rule of the market, which is look for prospects who are looking for you. Right? Look for prospects who are looking for you. And the reason why this is, and it's very simple, and it's so intuitive and duh and common sense after you hear it. If you create something and then part of the process is you need to talk people into wanting to buy it, you're going to spend so much time and energy trying to talk them into wanting it that you're going to blow all your profit. You're not going to make any money. Whereas if you look out into the marketplace and you say, okay, here's my audience, here's what our general expertise is in, what is something that they are looking for, where they have a problem or they have a massive burning desire, they're looking for something, but there aren't any options for them. They can't find options. Now you've got a business opportunity. And if you just use that one simple formula, it'll eliminate 80 or 90% of all your ideas immediately, and it will allow you to focus on offering things that people will already want to buy.
It makes total sense. It's like the direct marketing principle that it's far easier to sell your own customers more products than it is to go out and find new customers.
Right.
It's right on what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, again, there are a lot more pieces to this puzzle, and there's a step-by-step way of doing this and analyzing your market. But look for customers who are looking for you. The third component is your marketing, which has to do with everything that would be advertising, marketing, and you might even be able to include things like merchandising and sales under this umbrella. And my approach, the thing that I think makes us in our business different and the way that I think is that we use what I call holistic marketing. And the reason why I use that word, it sounds kind of new agey and modern, but it really means what I'm trying to say. As I studied marketing over the years, marketing happens to be the part of business that I have found most interesting in the area that I have studied the most and kind of gotten into more scientifically. At first, I used brand advertising type marketing. That's what I learned first, and I tried to get my name out there. Well, then I learned another method that was philosophically opposed to brand advertising called direct response marketing. And when I learned direct response marketing, the philosophy was, and I love the way my buddy Dean Jackson says, he says, the objective is not to get your name out there, it's to get your prospect's name in here, right? Direct response marketing is about asking for a response, giving a direction to action with specific steps for the prospect to take so that they respond and you can convert them and connect with them and then stair-step them through a process to lead to a sale. Well, that was a revelation. And as a kind of a baby marketer, when I tried direct response marketing, it worked so much better that I just stuck with it, and I used it as my only way of marketing for quite a while, for years in fact. Well, as I kept studying and learning and looking around, I realized, but there's something to these other philosophies of marketing. I mean, these guys that are doing brand advertising, some of them are multi-billion-dollar companies. They can't be completely wrong. And just because philosophically they're not aligned with what I've been doing, and people that are doing PR, companies that are doing PR, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in fact, some of them are getting millions of dollars worth of PR for free. And companies that are focused on, the persona of their company, or companies that have a front person speaking and kind of communicating and trying to build relationships with customers, maybe these actually have some value. So I started experimenting with integrating them together and combining them, and I've eventually realized what Ken Wilber says is everyone is right. That in just about any situation, everyone's right. It's just that not everyone is right to the same degree. And our responsibility as smart business people and evolved marketers is to study these different philosophies and figure out how to combine them in the right amounts for the situation that you're in.
Well, as you know, I've got a master's degree in direct marketing in a program that was called the Integrated Marketing Communications Program, where it was a big buzzword in the 90s, and they were just trying to teach